Yeah. Hi, everyone. Uh, Good to have you here today. We are just gonna wait till 7:10 before we start properly while we wait for others to join. Thank you. Yeah, we're starting now. So hello everyone, and welcome to today's free tech training session hosted by Imagined Idea. So we are really excited to have you here as you take your first step toward a career in technology. So today, I will be introducing you to three exciting career paths in tech. The first one is front-end development, and the second one is back-end development, while the third one is DevOps development. So now, all of these three together makes a full stack engineer, which is a full stack developer. So whether you want to build beautiful websites, you want to manage powerful applications, or maybe you want to automate cloud infrastructure, yeah, this session will give you a great overview of what all of these things mean. So before we begin, just a few quick Zoom housekeeping notes. Please keep your microphones muted during the presentation, just to minimize the background noise. Then you can use the chat box anytime to ask your questions. And we have a Q and A session at the end where we answer as many of your questions as possible. And also, remember, you don't need any prior experience to join this session. We designed it especially for beginners. So just bring your curiosity and let's get them cleared up. Okay. All right. So I'll introduce Imagined Idea to you shortly. So Imagined Idea is a learning platform dedicated to helping people like you break into the tech industry. So regardless of background or previous experience, our mission is to provide high quality practical training that empowers individuals to develop the skills employers need. So we're not just getting you prepared to be a junior, I mean to be not to be useful. So we are getting you job ready. So it's not just a tutorial you're gonna learn and I mean it ends there. It doesn't end there. All right. So we use proven teaching methods and we are always focusing on hands-on learning and of course real world projects. So over the years, many of our students have gone on to launch successful careers in tech, and we are proud to support that journey as well. Okay, so now that brings me to this slide, which is Tech for All. Digital journey begins here. And here we're going to be talking about why do you need to learn these tech skills and who is it for? Is it for absolute beginners and upskillers? Then the benefits of learning tech skills. And also, we are going to be moving to which tech path is right for you, which is out of these three tech paths, these three career paths that I'm bringing to you. Then, where can these skills take you, career and growth? And of course, get certified and prove your skills. And it doesn't end there. There is also a support because we are in partnership with a tech company in the UK. So for all of our students that are going to be going through these courses, so they have the opportunity to intern with this company, with this tech company. And what they stand to gain by interning with this tech company, there are lots of benefits because they get to work with high-class developers, they get to work with real-life problems, they get to work with professionals in this field. So they have a feel of how to work in a team setting, and they have a feel of what it takes to be successful as a either front-end developer, back-end developer, or DevOps engineer, or having all of these skill sets as a full stack engineer. So the first question people always ask is, why do I even need to learn these tech skills? Now, everyone, you're going to be agreeing with me that tech is everywhere because almost every job uses technology today, and even those in care sector they use technology. Those in construction companies too, they use technology. And even those in a lot of fields in tech, I mean, a lot of industries, they use tech. So the reason why you need to learn all of these tech skills is there is job security and growth because learning tech skills actually help you to stay competitive because you most of the tech jobs you don't really need to be in the office. Why some of them requires you to be in the office. And also it's a stable job to an extent. So that is why we have the job security and growth as well for the reason why you need to learn these tech skills. And the last part is no experience is needed. Yeah, you heard that right. No experience is needed. You don't have to be a geek before you learn this. All right. So you can we are going to be teaching you to start from scratch and gradually build your skills. All right. Now, who is this for? Is it for absolute beginners and upskillers or just absolute beginners? So this is for either you just want to start, I mean, absolute beginners, you don't even know anything in tech. This is for you. And also for those that are already in the workforce, like maybe you're already a front-end engineer, you want to like jump into back-end development, you're welcome as well. Or maybe you're experienced in back-end development, you want to navigate to front-end development, you're welcome as well. Or maybe you have all of these two skills, you just need to upskill in DevOps, you're welcome as well. And like I mentioned earlier, this is going to be from scratch. So you're going to treat it like a newbie. It's not for those like that already have the experience. So we're going to start with you, like as a beginner. Now, the benefits of learning these tech skills. Yeah, one of them is high paying careers. So in the world today, or let me say in this space that we are in today, um, tech is one of the high paying jobs. Yeah. And it's not just one of the high paying jobs. It is one of the it has one of the flexible work options because many tech roles offer remote work and of course freelance opportunities. So you don't have to be in a physical office before you can use all of these skills. You don't even need to send your CV to anyone before you can use all of these skills. We have a lot of platforms that you can go there, use your tech skills and make money for yourself, which is like the freelance opportunities in this tech world. So now, why some other jobs they really don't offer these flexible work options because you have to be present there to do that work. But that is not for tech guys. So for tech guys, you don't necessarily need to be like have to be in the office. You can work from anywhere, depending on the agreement with your company. And if you decide not to even work for any company, just like do your freelance opportunities. Of course, they're still working for companies, but of course on a freelance level. So which means that whatever skills you're learning from here, it's not just for you to sit down in a physical office. It is your choice. You can decide to explore the freelance opportunities as well. Okay. And one beautiful thing about tech is for any tech skills, as a tech person, you solve problems every day. You build projects that matters. For example, let's look at the chat GPT. Yeah, the group of people built that, and that is part of tech as well. So you may decide to come up with your own idea of something you want to build, and people will subscribe to it and people will start using it. So that is one of the benefits. Sorry, that is another benefit of learning tech skills. Now, this is the question people get to ask, which tech path is right for you? But before I dive into this, um, so we just finished a course which I have yeah, some of my students here, like they are going students. So now one thing we always make sure of is it's not all about you just learning it. Yeah. So imagine the idea is going to fully support you to the point of you getting stability, getting your feet in this tech industry. So what this means is that they they didn't just learn all of these things like they for because yeah, we just finished front-end development. So they didn't just learn all of these things that are in front-end development. They have been doing a lot of like projects and they've been doing a lot of assignments. So they are not idle. And this is the reason why we have decided because yeah, this is the next phase of their life now in this tech training is getting them uh getting them deployed to one of our partners in the UK, which is like as I mentioned earlier, we have a partner in the UK which is a tech company as well. So that is the name of the company is Smart Approaches. Yeah, the CEO is on the call as well, which is actually going to come up later to talk more about this. So they are going to be deployed to Smart Approaches to work on interesting projects. And this is where they get to meet, they work with, this is where they get to work with high class developers, senior developers, mid-level developers, so they can catch up as well and so they can learn and also use the skills that they have learned from Imagine Idea, so they can use that skills there as well. So the journey still doesn't end there. Yeah, because from there they get to progress their journey into another opportunity, which is which of course is gonna come during their stay or probably during their internship. Okay, so now I would just like to uh just welcome some of the students on this call to give their, I mean, just to kind of share their share their view with you, what they have learned so far and how the training had been for them. So I will start by calling Mr. Paul. Yeah, he's on the call with me here. So you can just share your experience briefly on what you've learned and why you think the course is actually necessary. Or like you just share your journey, like when you started, and of course everything you have learned.
Good evening, everybody. Um, I'm Paul Adeniyi by name. Computer and interpreter by profession. So when I heard about Emerging Idea and the topic they offered, I quickly jumped into it based on the explanation the host have explained earlier. That is into hope everybody is explaining it. Hello?
Oh yes, we can hear you. You can be more
Okay.
audible.
Okay. So, based on what the host has explained earlier, that's what made me join Imagine Idea because it's actually very impressive, very easy to assimilate. Our teachers actually are friendly, and the explanations and everything actually is very smooth. I thought was it to be something difficult for me based on the fact that I have zero knowledge. But as the course goes on, I saw that actually it's easier than the first, of course. Learning HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, going out through these video steps, became, the course became more clearer. At this point, I can fully say that I can create a web page user friendly, make some designs and some other things too. Uh, Actually, I encourage everybody that has had the Imagine Idea to join the course because at the long run, you will see it's very, very beneficial to you. And you will learn many, many things that probably you think is difficult or people are performing magic. You see, it's very simple and it's very easy. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Paul. Yeah, I'm just going to be inviting one more person. So this person is when I first saw this person request to join the course, I was surprised. Like, okay, I feel like this course is supposed to be for adults, right? I mean, like those like from 18 upward. But I was shocked to see someone join this course, and yeah, it's just 12. Maybe it's 13 now. I'm not too sure. And he has been so fantastic and it, so awesome in this course. So I will invite Goodness or Payemi to like just walk us through like what you think about the course at this point.
Hello, my name is Gunes Okwemi, and like Mr. Taiwo said, I am 13 years old. And when I started this course, it was very kind of rough. But when I reached out to Mr. Taiwo, he explained everything broadly. He took part of his time to explain some of the things I didn't understand, starting from HTML before we proceed to CSS. CSS was a little bit hard for me, just like HTML. But like always, I reached out to him and he always answered without delay. So then we moved on to JavaScript. Then now we're in React.js that we just finished. So the course has been good so far, and you will really need skills like this for the like future careers that is outside, like software engineering, like people that is dealing with AI, and because of basically AI is taking over like jobs these days because of nobody can do without a phone, for example. If they are going to job because of they are going to receive messages for shift, then the AI is going to help them to like proceed on whatever career they are doing. Like doctors, they use devices to like operate on surgeries and other things. And I will recommend this course to everyone on this Zoom meeting. And if you have any problems in this course, just reach out to Imagine Idea and it will cure or clear all your troubles.
Yeah, all right, thank you so much, Opeyemi. All right, so without further ado, I'll just proceed to the next slide, which explains things you need to know about front end, back end, and DevOps. Yeah, so you saying this for the first time, it might looks like probably something hard, is something difficult, or probably you have not even heard of these terminologies before. Yeah, let's forget the grammars. Let's focus on the real life usage, right? Now, if you hear about front end development, what comes to your mind? Now, front end has to do with something at the front, right? Something you see and something you feel and something you kind of connect to. For example, if you should go to, let's say you go to gov.uk website, something like this. You go to gov.uk website. This is an example of a website, right? Now, and this website runs on browsers. Example of browsers are like uh, Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, and all of that. All right. Now, this is a website, and what you see here, this is a front end of this website. That is what you can see. So front end is a way of you designing like building attractive, user-friendly websites. All right. So now that is what front end is. But in this front end, another way you can see front end is you can see it as a building like a house, okay? You can see front end as a house that you want to build, and you building that house, plastering it, decorating it, making it a very beautiful house. That is what front end is. Okay. Anything that you can see that is beautiful. Yeah. Some might not be beautiful, right? But of course, they are websites. So that is what front end development is. Okay. And for back end development, you can see back end has the backbone of a website. So how do I mean? So think of a website or like an app, like a restaurant, let's say like KFC. Okay. Now, if you go to KFC, let's say McDonald's, for example, if you go to McDonald's website or probably the app, okay, and you want to order, the first thing that they will ask you is like, do you want to sign in or you register, right? Good. Now, the process of you registering, what you're actually saying as register. Okay, let's do something really quick here. Let's go to um let's go to imagineidea.com and let's go to register page. Now, all of these things you are seeing here, this is the front end design. This is just design. Okay. So now for you to come here, select the course you want to do, put your name, put your email, put your gender, and put your phone number. Then click on enroll now. The moment you click on this enroll now, think of it like you are posting something. Like let's say you're probably you want to post something from Manchester to London. You have a friend in London, okay? And you want to send some information to London. How do you do that? It's either you drive to London or you send it through post, right? Good. So now in this case, you are sending it to someone. But here, when it comes to website design, this is front end, okay? Now, what backend means here is that all of this information, you are sending it somewhere. That is, there is a guy waiting to receive all of this information, which is me. All right. So the guy expecting to see all of this information is called backend guy. All right. So now, what do they do really? What exactly is backend role? They are responsible to store and manage data. Okay. Now we see all of this as data. Okay. Your first name, last name, all of this collect, like all of this together, they are data. All right. So now their job is to store and manage data, like your user account, your passwords, your email, your phone number. Okay. And also, one thing they do really well is one of the components they kind of interact with mostly is servers. Okay. So let me show you a simple architecture of what front end and back end is. All right. Now, this is front end, this is back end, okay? Now, front end is just a laptop. This is the client, like your regular laptop, your phone, anything. Okay. Let's assume this guy is on Imagined Idea register page and you decide to send in your information. You are sending it to somewhere called web server. So this web server is provided by DevOps guys. They are the one that would tell you, make provision for this server. Now, this server communicates to and fro, okay? So this man in the middle here is going to send whatever information you are sending to the backend. He's going to send it across this web server. Then it goes to the application server and it goes to the database. So database is where we store information. So see database like your phone contacts. If you just meet your friend, like a friend today, or probably anyone you have met, like I mean, you haven't seen in a long time, what is the first thing you're going to ask them? Oh, sorry, can I have your number? Okay. Yeah, they give you their number, right? And you type a name to save that number. The process of you typing that name and clicking on save or store, whatever the case may be with your phone, okay, that process is called you are storing data into somewhere. And where you are storing it is called database. If you go to your phone, you have like probably almost like 50, 100 contacts. All right. Those contacts are saved somewhere called database. Now, see this database, see all of this process as backend. All right. Now, this guy is going to process this information. And if you should notice one thing, after you save a contact on your phone, what happens? You kind of get like a message like, yes, contact saved successfully. And yeah, you get a message from backend, like from your phone and says, I mean, that says contact has been saved successfully or something like that. Then, so which means this message now goes back here to the client. So what exactly is going on here is if you click on enroll now, the process is this guy is sending it to the backend. And after sending it to the backend, if everything is successful, this guy comes up with a success message, just like what we are seeing here. So this is the difference between front end and back end. So backend is responsible for managing the data, is responsible for the logic, like the functionality of a website. For you to go to facebook.com and type in your username and password, all right? Now, that username and password, it's not a magic, yeah, but there is a backend for it waiting to confirm your information. And if you should notice, most times, if you type a wrong password, you get a message back that tells you invalid password or something. So that means there's a backend in place that stores your data. So which means each time you try to call that backend, it confirms your data again. Am I sure this is the right person? Is this information correct? If it's correct, then you get a success message. If it is not correct, you get what? An error message. So people that works on logics, like logical parts, the functionality part of a website or of an application, we call them backend developers. Why those people that works with user-friendly designs, like beautiful designs, any design you can think of, those are what? Those are front-end developers. They don't have any business with what is going on in the back end. All right. And actually, they have business because the only business they have with backend is in case they are building something that has to do with form and they want to send something to the backend and they receive something back. All right. So that is what front end and back end means. Now, how about DevOps? Who are these DevOps guys? Now, see DevOps as the bridge between developers and operation teams. All right. Now, DevOps guy, their job is to build and deliver software faster. So now, the front-end developer is designing a website, something like this. Okay, so beautiful, right? And the back-end person too is building a logic for this course. He's trying to build something around it, just to be sure that yes, this information is getting sent to the back end. Okay. They are preparing a house to house this information. Now, all of these things can't just come here. I mean, you can't just go to imagine the idea without a DevOps person working on it. So a DevOps person will tell you as a front-end developer that, you know what, continue designing your website. This same DevOps guy will tell the back-end developer to continue building your logics. When you are done, just send everything to me. I will make sure that it is available on the internet. So the work of a DevOps person ensures that your application runs on the internet. And it makes sure that um, there's something we call infrastructure. Infrastructure is cloud, all right? See cloud as an infrastructure that houses all of these things, like a very big house that has room and parlor everywhere. Okay. So DevOps guys, they are responsible to make sure that your website is up and running. Everything about your application is up and running. That is the work of the DevOps guys. Okay. Now, these DevOps guys, their work doesn't stop there. Okay. Now, if you go to any website and, for example, gov.uk, you are able to type gov.uk and you press enter and everything goes smoothly. That is the work of a DevOps person. The DevOps person ensures that this page is highly available. Okay. Now, but the time back, like you go to your website and you are seeing an error, like, oh, this site is not available, fall through resource, resource limits, all of those error messages. It means that there is an issue in the cloud part. So at this point, whatsoever thing the front end and the back end developer has built, their life depends on the DevOps person because it is the work of a DevOps engineer that will make sure that yes, this this application they have built is online for everyone to use. Okay. Now let's have a quick demo on what front-end developers do. Okay. Now front-end developers are going to learn something called HTML. So we have a roadmap. Okay. We have a roadmap for all of these courses. For front-end development, they're going to start with HTML basics, CSS fundamentals, JavaScript essentials, and advanced JavaScript. So this is to tell you we are not just like teaching like the basics. We are going much more deeper. All right. And of course, the React.js framework is there and building responsive web application. Now, one thing is missing here, which is like teaching you how to deploy, like make sure your application is online for your friends to maybe see, your friends and family to see. It's just like a bonus added to this course. All right. Now, in front-end development, let's go to gov.uk website. Now, we have something we call HTML and we have something we call CSS. What is HTML? What is CSS? Now, HTML, CHTML has, let's go to Escalator. All right. Now, CHTML has a house, just like this. Yeah, I love to use this example because it's the easiest way to know what HTML is. I mean, we are all familiar with houses, right? Now, don't mind this house. It's one of my old house. Okay, now this is my door, right? And I've got two windows here. First window and the second window, okay? Of course, there's a knob here to open my door. Now, this is a house, just a structure. Now, in building construction, I don't know if everybody is familiar with building construction, but in building construction, the very first thing you do is to buy a land, right? And after buying a land, I mean, I'm not going too deep into like probably verifying the land if it's not stolen, all right? Yeah, that's assignment to do. Yeah, but here we're talking about a building project. The very first thing they will do to have a proper building is to lay those blocks, like those bricks, okay? Yeah, that is the very first thing they will do. Now, this house you're saying here is HTML because it has no design, right? I mean, I haven't painted it. It doesn't have any paint. It's just bricks. So anything that it's just a structure, yeah? So if you think of a structure of a house without the design, without the plastering, without the painting, that is what HTML is. And meaning of it, HTML is hypertext markup language. I'm still going to write that one down. Okay. Now, see this as HTML. Now, how about CSS? CSS is cascading style sheet. So CSS is so important that it helps you to beautify your HTML. Now, HTML can stand alone because if you decide to lay your bricks without painting it, without plastering it, if you decide to sleep in this house like that, that is your choice, right? So which means this house can stand alone without like plastering. But then CSS cannot stand alone. Why? Because see, look at CSS as your paint and your cement. They can't stand alone without you having a place, I mean, something to apply them to. Is that correct? Good. So the process of probably you coming here and say, okay, I want to paint my roof. Where's that guy? I think I have a very big painter here. Yeah. So for the part that says you want to paint your house and probably you want to paint your house red, or probably you want to paint this window, you want to paint this one, and you pick a different color again. You want to paint this your dark green. All right. And of course, inside the house, you have furnished it. Now, the process of doing all of these things is CSS. Now, CSS is not all about coloring. Don't get it wrong. Now, let's go to gov.uk website. This is where you can see the real design. Now, look at this. This is so beautiful, right? Now, there's one thing that is making this website so beautiful and attractive for people to see and for people to like it is because of the CSS. Now, let's try to remove the CSS and let's see what's going to happen. Now, this is gov.uk website without any CSS. This is just HTML. Do you still like it? The answer is no. Can you like interact with this website and find whatever thing you're looking for? It looks rough, right? Everything is not together. It's not even attractive. So this is the work of CSS here is it beautifies HTML structure. All of these are HTML codes. All right. Now, how can we make it fine? So we can make this beautiful again by adding what? Adding our CSS. So let's assume this is, of course, this is not an assumption. This is HTML, okay? So let's change this back to have CSS. Now this is CSS. What do you think about CSS? So you can already summarize this in your mind that CSS beautifies HTML, okay? That is what this is all about. Now, I'm just going to give you a short demo within a short while, okay? Now, I want you to ignore anything you see here. Ignore everything. Now, this is what we call HTML code. And like I mentioned earlier, HTML means hypertext markup language, which is hypertext markup language. It's a markup language because the language looks like English, right? It looks like English. And in HTML, there is a rule, okay? There's a rule in HTML that says that whenever you open a tag, you must close the tag. Now, we call all of these things tags. What are tags? Tags are all of these things that makes this website standing like this. If you should view the source code of this website, you're going to see some less than, greater than tags. All of these are called tags. But don't be carried away with this. Yeah, don't be carried away with that. All of these are called what? Tags. Now, let's say as a beginner, you have learned that, okay, we have tags. What are tags? Tags are elements in HTML. And what are these elements? They are what makes our website. Okay? That is how tags are, and that is what tags are. Now, in HTML, there's a tag called um, H1. Now, this H1 tag, it means that this is like heading tag, and that one you're seeing there is we have H1 to H6. So it means that H1 is the biggest and H6 is the what? The smallest. So if you want to say hello, John, here. Now remember, we have opened this tag. This H1 is an HTML element, and this is inside less than and greater than, like just like this. This is a tag. Now, how can we close this tag? It's quite easy to close the tag. All you have to do is just put a forward slash and type the same thing you have here. This H1, that is all. You can see I have Hello John here. Now, if I should go to the H6, which is the last one, and type the same Hello John. So what difference can you notice here? Sorry, H6. What difference can you see here? You can tell that H1 is the biggest and what H6 is the smallest. Now, this is not looking beautiful, right? This is just like a simple HTML. How about CSS? Now, let's do something in CSS. We have style.css linked to this page. Now, ignore all of this. These are going to be taught like very well later. Now, let's go to our HTML. In this HTML, we have H1 and H6. If you want to change the color of H1 to red, what are you going to do? You can already say, okay, what I will do is that I will call H1 and say, okay, your color should be red. Now, if you are inside the house and my mom wants to send me on an errand, the first thing that she will say is she will call my name, right? Like, Iwo, can you come and get something for me? All right. Now, that's the same way this HTML and CSS behave. CSS needs to call an HTML by the name. What is the name of this guy here, this tag? The name of this tag is what? H1. So what CSS does here, it says H1, I want you to paint me color to be what? Red. Just paint me red. That is what I want. You can see this is just like a regular English, right? Good. Now, if you want to paint H6, can anyone tell me how we can paint our H6 here? You want to paint it green. Anybody wants to try that on the chat section? We want to paint this H6. This is our tag here. We want to paint it green. Remember, we have painted our H1 red, but this time around, we want to paint H6. How are we going to do that? What's the first thing I'm going to be doing? For our H6, we have Hello John. So if we want to paint this Hello John green, anybody wants to try? Anybody wants to try? So what do I need to do here? What I need to do is to call the H6 by the name as well, right? What is H6? This is the H6. And what else do I need to do? I want to paint it what? Color green. Green. That's all. And the color will be green. This is like a quick demo of like HTML and CSS. All right. Then for the JavaScript part, of course, that will like be taught in class as well. So now, I would like to call on one other student. He just joined. So just to kind of give a brief overview about his journey so far. So I would like to call Femi.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Femi. So, before I started my learning career with Imagine Idea, I once attended art school, and while I was in art school, all we actually do, what are their model of teaching there is pre-recorded video, which is like you can't ask question, you can't communicate with anybody or complain about, okay, this thing is not clear, nobody is going to get to you or attend to you. So from there, I go to YouTube to ask questions and make findings. I find it difficult. It's not coming forth at all. But when I joined Imagine Idea for my own learning from the very scratch, which is the HTML, the classes were very, very interactive in the sense that it was a live coding environment. Like we are doing it live. We are putting all our practices into, like we are writing real code physically and we are being explained it to. And we still have access to rewatch those videos after each class, which is very, very accessible. And if you have any issue, reaching out to our tutor is very, very fast in the sense that every of your responses are being attended to. So while I was learning my HTML and my CSS, when we get to JavaScript, it was the learning process was not easy, but the fact that I get a live class and every errors and every mistakes I made are being attended to in limited time, it gives me a chance to work on a paid project. Like while I was still learning, I was able to collect a paid project, and the site is live currently. It's a landing page for a care home that I was able to build from HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and it was very, very awesome. So I'm actually recommending Imagine Idea for your training. Either you have a basic idea about computer, or either you didn't have any basic idea about coding, you don't know what code is. It's something you can pick up and you will thrive in it rather than going for one job that is not worth it. Because I can't imagine myself going uh to work from 8 a.m. in the morning and closing 5 p.m., whereby I can be in the very, very comfort of my home and be working and be getting paid more than what I will earn doing 8 to 5 or 8 to 6. So I'm employing everybody to put all their effort together, and it- it's not something you need to like. It's not a force my first thing, but is I'm recommending Imagine Idea for your learning. Thanks so much, everyone.
All right, yeah, thank you for that piece. Okay, so before I move to QA part, so I have the CEO of of the company that we are in partnership with, which is Smart Approaches. Yeah, he's on the call. So we just can probably like address everyone. And if you have any, so after that, we move to QA, which is the question and answers time. So you can start thinking about your questions now. All right. Thank you very much. So I would like to welcome Dr. Ibukoino.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for the uh, training and making everything so simple. Firstly, I will have to say that thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk again on your platform. And first thing I would like to tell you guys is tech is not as difficult as you can think. And right now, I think it is best to say that it is now inevitable. If you are not techie right now, there's every possibility of not being employed in the nearest future. And one of the most recognized tech field is software development. It cannot be replaced by anything. We are seeing a lot of wave of AI and all that, but AI won't be the one to use the right platform, the right framework to build plays and a lot of those things. So you are in the right place. And I think I was here sometime some months ago when this outgoing set or cohort was in a meeting like this. And I was able to see their energy, and I'm so happy that as the founder and the CEO of Smart Approaches, which is we do some other stuff and we do a lot of software development. We have a consultancy software development part, and we have a product called Guide, which is out there all over the world, which can be seen in about 176 countries. And we have the mobile app at the same time we have the web app. So I am happy to say that thank you for displaying. This is our website. I am happy to say that we are bringing in the just concluded cohorts into our team. As of now, their project manager is set, their senior developer is set, their intermediate developer to also guide them, it's set, their GitHub is set. So we are set to receive them, and not just to come and learn, but also come and practice what they have learned in the course of that 3 months training they had with Imagine Idea. We normally bring out in we bring out form application for students to apply for this internship. But because of a good relationship we have with the CEO of Imagine Idea, and he's been a consultant to one of our products too. So we are so sure that anyone he has laid his hand on to teach, we definitely know how to do it in the best way. And trust me, guys, you are in the right place. And we are so happy to receive you. And according to the letter I got from the Imagine Idea, things will be starting by the beginning of next month. And you are preparing everything, the project management tools, you are going to be using Jira and some other things, which we are having so many projects ready for you to lay your hands on with experience. Please, it's no more training. It's an internship, and you need to actually act like a real developer, and you have a timeline to get your project submitted. So I would just like to say that we're happy to receive you. And for the ones that want to join the next course, you're in the right place. And there's a secret to learning tech. It's not about watching videos, and it's not about just practicing. It's about having the real life project that has a deadline that you're going to burn your midnight candles on. And those are the things that are going to build you in order for you to be market ready. And the purpose of the internship with us is to be market ready, because we're already in the market. The product is making wave. You can go on any search. We are everywhere. We are in the UK, US, Canada, and we have users all over the world. Is a product that is so promising, and we have a very large database. So we're happy to see you guys. And also, we are going to feature you guys on our social media platforms in order for our followers to know that you guys are part of our team, that joining the team, and it will also help your portfolio and your CV at large when you start looking for a job after the internship with us. And also, I'm sure your CEO is not aware of this. Your performance with that we also determine if we are going to retain you in our company, because we've got a lot of projects. I've got a lot of cross-functional team members, from product manager to data analyst, business analyst, front end, back end, cloud, mobile developer, because in the course, some of you guys might develop interest in those mobile, so you can learn. So it's a very big platform for you guys to learn. And I'm happy to say that. See you soon in our organization. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ibukwaido. Yeah, thank you for that piece. Okay, so we'll move to questions and answers. So we have two ways of doing it. You can unmute yourself to ask your questions, or you type your questions on the chat box, and all of them will be attended to. So does anyone have any questions, any clarification at all? Yeah, we are here to clarify all of them.
I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So I just wanted to know what was the most difficult project you've worked on and how you were able to like deal with it while working on those projects.
Sorry, most difficult project, like is it on the training?
Not on the training, just as for like your experience as one of like a tutor, for example. I know you've worked on projects like that has to do with IT. I don't know which specific ones you've worked on, but I just wanted to know like how were you able to deal with difficult times when you were doing a project? I'm trying to meet up with the deadlines.
Okay, yeah.
Are
So yeah, I'm here with you. All right. So if I get
Okay.
your question correctly, so you're asking how like I mean, have I worked on any like difficult projects? And
Yeah,
if yes, how was I able to like navigate it through? Is that correct?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll just be quick on that part. So one of the most difficult projects I worked on was like building a custom video on demand platform. Yeah, for a
Mhm.
client. Yeah, it's not like for my company. It's actually it was for a client. Yeah. So we
Yeah,
wanted a Netflix style experience. So now for this particular project, the platform required like of course complex features like adaptive streaming and of course your user watch history tracking and secure access controls. So now, midway through the project, the scope expanded significantly. I mean, it was out of the initial scope. So at this point, the deadline remained fixed due to marketing campaign launch. So at this point, to meet the deadline, one thing I did differently was to break the system down into core modules and reprioritized based on business impact. So one thing I introduced to the team, yeah, I was leading the team as well, and at the same time I was coding. So one thing I introduced was a Kanban style workflow, if you understand what that means. So it's usually used to like improve task visibility, just to kind of move the non-critical features, like the ones that are not as critical, move them to post-launch roadmap. Okay. So one thing I did differently here was to communicate that one to, of course, the stakeholders, so they know the reason why we are moving some of these features like post-launch roadmap because they are not as critical as they want. So now, one thing I kind of the summary of all of this is like priority and also being able to like take ownership and being able to decide on which one is best based on the stakeholders input. So yeah, then of course, another thing I can remember is to actually save time without like compromising quality of the work. So I had to reuse like well-tested components from previous work, like my own personal work, to emphasize integration test instead of like full end-to-end test for early integrations. So in the end, yeah, I mean, we were able to like deliver the fully functional MVP on time, and which means we still have like our post-launch roadmap, like features being moved to like post-launch roadmap.
Thank
thank
you.
you, Sam.
All
All
right,
right.
thank you. I would like to also contribute to that too. So, I worked as a business analyst, also a data analyst, and also, of course, as a founder. So I've been in all those sides and I know how this thing works. So this is how it works basically. Because the nature of software projects or software development projects is very agile. Agile in the sense that what you think you want right now, in the course of development, you will see more features because your funder or your stakeholders are also seeing other products they are also tapping features from. Then there could be change of plans due to so many reasons. And don't forget, you're working with stakeholders and possibly the funders, which are one of the stakeholders, or even change of users' interest. So what you eventually do is prioritizing, just like you said. So there is a kind of techniques we use in project management also in tech in general called Moscow techniques. So these Moscow techniques will help you to prioritize in must have feature, should have feature, could have feature, and won't have feature. So that must have feature is a feature that other features are depending on it. Take, for instance, in a system, the authentication is very, very important. So when the deadline is short, you need to prioritize according to your level of importance using techniques like Moscow. So there will be some other features that will be should have something like question and answer, but there are some features like payment gateway that is also a must. And there are features like maybe FAQ, some about CEO and all those ones. So you can take all those ones to be later. So even when you release your product or you release the MVP or you release the particular project partially, it will still be useful for the users. But deep down, you guys know that you have not delivered the whole product. And that is why it is important to prioritize. So one of the ways to handle a short deadline is prioritization. And one of the best techniques to use in prioritization is Moscow techniques. With this, you are good to go. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Dr. IVK. All right, so does that
Thank you,
answer
sir.
your question, Tomio?
Yes, sir, it did. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, does anyone have any question? Anything? Okay, so if you don't have any further question, yeah, just permit me to walk you through the last part, which is what then do you need to do, like the next step and the registration info. So now the training starts on the 28th of this month, so which is like next Saturday. And we have the fees for these all of these available courses for front end to back end to DevOps. And of course, there's a massive discount for if you're taking all of them. Yeah. And yeah, so the way you can complete the registration, we have two ways. Okay. Yeah. First way is we have a number here, this contact. You can reach out to this contact directly on WhatsApp or go to the website, which you can see this WhatsApp logo here. So once you click on this WhatsApp logo, it takes you to WhatsApp to like chat with this number straight. If you don't want to go through the stress of having to copy it, save the number, so you can do that directly from the website. Then, so now we offer alternative payment options for non-UK residents. And also, yeah, so basically, I think that's everything. So you are encouraged to like do your registration before the next cohort start date, which is June 28th. And of course, reminder it's we are going to be sending reminders out as well for those interested and probably they forgot the dates. Yeah. So yeah, that is our and the course is for 3 months. Yeah, but not just 3 months. 3 months with like solid works. So, and our trainings are usually on like Wednesdays and Saturdays. Yeah, there are some exceptional cases. Some exceptional cases like we can have some. I mean, sometimes we may have to fix trainings to maybe like a different days, but then that is like the standard at the moment on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. That is when we do have our trainings, and we are not just coming to class to just have the training. Yeah, we have fun too, and one of the fun we have is having like class works and having assignments based on what you just learned in class. All right, so I promise it's gonna be fun, and yeah. So if you have any other question, please you can direct it to my email or just come directly to this contact or use our social media handles to reach out to Imagined Idea. And since does anyone still have any question? Probably just remember the question while I was talking about this. You can.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Taiwo.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. James.
Yeah, I'll call you maybe after the class. Yeah.
All right.
Mm.
All right. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's everything, everyone. I wish you all the best. And yeah, I'll be waiting to expect your responses on, I mean, your request on the training. And have a good weekend, everyone.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.